In this task, we're going to create a preliminary map using some GIS data. So to start, we're going to create a new project, and we're going to go to new, and we're going to use our project template that we have. And in this project template, we have some data that's set up, and particularly in this case, because we're bringing in this GIS data, we've already created some layers and put them into a layer group under GIS data. These layers, if we were to look at the layer options, you can see that the water features are assigned a color, line style, line weight, protected, and they're in a layer group. Now we've done this with all the GIS layers, that the layers actually match the GIS shapefile name. So in here, if I look under, let's say, soils, this slope 25 shapefile, that shapefile name corresponds to that layer. So by doing this, knowing exactly what the shapefiles are that you're bringing in, you can predefine the layers and the colors of your project. So it makes it easy if you're working in particularly this, maybe the county, that you have this GIS data and you use it over and over again on your projects. So the first thing that we'll do is we will bring in a file that is the property boundary that was provided to us. It's just a CAD file, so we're going to bring that in just to give us an idea where we're working within the county. Then we're going to drag and drop in this other GIS data. So we'll go ahead and say no, we don't worry about that message or the error. So here's our property boundary, and maybe we start by bringing in the bounds of the county. So if I bring in the municipal boundary shapefile, I'm just going to left click on it and I'm going to drag and drop it in. When I drag and drop it in, you can see that color is assigned, and this is the area we're working in. We're working in this municipality, so if I select that and we look at the properties of it, I can see that I'm in the Smithfield, the school district. I have all the feature attributes for that particular shapefile. Then I can repeat the process for the other shapefiles. So if I come back over here and go and bring in the hydro, so if I bring in the water boundaries, now depending on the shapes data, this may take a little bit longer than others. So if we come in here and we look, I can see I've got my shapes, and if I bring in the water features, this one's going to take a little longer because it's bringing in all the water features for the entire county. So it's going to take a few seconds for it to be brought in. You may have to then come in and turn layers on and off because these are going to overlay and the properties will take on different characteristics, different colors. You can set the transparencies of these if you want to not shade them or shade them in. You can do that as well. So a lot of different things that you can do with this shape data, but in the end what you're doing is we're determining that in this case we don't have any water features, or maybe we do have water features running through our project. So we'll give this a few minutes to run through. In the meantime, I'll come over here and I will set up, and we'll grab the soils next. We'll take a look at those. So once the water features come in, we'll drag in the soils. And on this particular project, maybe we want to see what type of soils we're working with. We can drag in the zoning information. We can drag in all different types of data from our GIS data stores. So now that we've got the data, let that just run through. You can see we've got some water information coming through. So let's just go ahead and bring in our slopes, soils that are sloped on in the area. So we'll grab that shapefile and bring that in. So these soils are where the ground is greater than a 25% slope. So you'll be able to see as we look at the soil data, we can determine, maybe we gotta do some more boring information in that area, kind of determine what's happening, or do more investigative work on that particular project. So as we look at this here, we can see if any of these soils impact our project, and in this case they don't. So again, we can do that with the rest of the information and the rest of the GIS data. You're basically just dragging and dropping it into your project.